Hi guys, and welcome to this video. I'm Ellen, and I'm here to talk about some movies with you. Basically the movies that I watched in January. So like always, we're going to start with the movies that I rewatched and not talk about those, and then we're going to go into the movies that I watched for the first time, and we're going to talk about those. So, the movies I rewatched. I Am Number 4, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, The Fault in Our Stars, Me Before You, The Time Traveler's Wife, Becoming Jane, The Darkest Minds, She's the Man, and Tangled. So now, I watched 5 new movies this month. We're actually going to start with some statistics this year. I want to do something different and show you some statistics about the movies before I start talking about them. So yeah, so I watched 5 new movies this month. The shortest movie I watched was 90 minutes, and the longest movie I watched was 126 minutes. Overall, I watched a total of 555 minutes, which kind of averages to 17 minutes a day, but I obviously did not watch 17 minutes a day of movies. I just feel like that was a fun thing to know. I watched a bunch of different genres. I watched 2 comedies. I watched a drama, a thriller, and 1 adventure. I watched a bunch of different genres. I watched 2 comedies. I watched a drama, a thriller, and 1 adventure. Star ratings I have 1 1-star, I have 3 4-stars, and 1 4.5 stars. Now let's talk about the movies that I watched. Also this year I'm going to put them in a different order. I'm going to talk about them in order of least liked to most liked. So from my 1-star to my 5 stars. So basically the first movie that I'm here to talk about is my 1-star movie, and it was also the first movie I watched in the year, and that is Holmes and Watson. So this is a comedy with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. They tend to do some pretty decent comedies like Talladega Nights and Step Brothers. This one was definitely not a good one that they did together. We follow their comedic versions of Sherlock Holmes and Watson, whose first name I seem to be blanking on. John Watson. It's very stupid humor, and usually I tend to not mind that kind of humor. But this, I don't even think did the stupid humor well. I laughed a little bit, but none of the jokes really landed. And also a lot of the times their lines, they would shout them as if shouting it would make it funny. The story was also just super messy. Didn't really do anything for me. There were a lot of really surprise cameos that were fun, but no, this movie wasn't good. So yeah, 1 star. So the next movie I'm going to talk about is On the Basis of Sex. This is a drama about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who, if you don't know who Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, go look her up and find out, because she is amazing. She's an amazing woman. And this is kind of like a biopic about her. It's not a documentary, it's just about her. But we mainly follow 1 case that she did. It was her first case that really got her going in the women's rights movement, I guess. It was okay. I might think I want to push it down to 3.5 stars instead of 4 stars. But I mean, it was shot very well. It was written very well. It was just nothing really spectacular. It was just very simple, and there wasn't really anything groundbreaking about this movie. But everything was pretty much well done. It just was nothing special. It was very well acted though. I will say the actors were very, very, very good. That was probably my favorite part about the movie, was the acting. It still wasn't as empowering as I wanted it to be, but still very inspirational. Just, I don't know, the trailers made it seem like it was going to be a lot more empowering. So I think it was a very good introduction to who Ruth Bader Ginsburg is, but it's not, I don't know, I feel like they could have done better for her, because she is amazing and she deserves better. So yeah, I know I gave this 4 stars originally, but I'm going to change it now that I'm talking about it. I'm changing it to 3.5 stars. So my next movie is Escape Room. I did not go into this movie with much expectations. I don't typically watch thrillers or horror, though this wasn't really horror. It was more like a suspense thriller. I don't tend to really watch those types of movies, but this one, for some reason, I was just you know what, I'm kind of in the mood to watch a suspense thriller, so let's go for it. And I'm so happy I did, because this turned out to be a lot more than what I was expecting. This one we follow 6 people who get chosen to test out an escape room, and it's supposed to be like the most immersive escape room yet. It was also very immersive, but throughout the movie you see how each of these characters connect and why they were chosen for this escape room and why this escape room exists for these certain characters. And it was very fascinating in that sense too. It was a very like character heavy, character driven type story, but full of like suspense and action, and I really truly loved this movie. Since it was a very character driven movie, the characters were done very well. They were very strong characters. They were all different personalities and different types of people, and they all clashed but also all banded together. I felt like the rooms were very creative. Like every single room that they were in for the escape room was very creative and very well thought out and very well done. I also thought it was well acted. I don't know, I thought the acting was good. I do think it should have started differently. I don't think they should have started it the way they started it, because with how they started it, it actually spoiled the ending. Because like there was a scene where if you have epilepsy, do not go see this movie, but there was a scene with a lot of flashing lights and what is it, like optical illusions with the flashing lights. It was very trippy to watch, but like watching that scene I was just like, I know what's gonna happen because of what I saw at the very beginning of the movie, so I know who's gonna make it out alive. And I do hope there is a sequel. With the way it ended, there could be a sequel. But overall, really liked this movie a lot. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next movie I want to talk about is The Kid Who Would Be King. I was so excited to watch this movie, and I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It was so fun. This is just like a kid's movie full of adventure, full of action, kind of like a retelling of King Arthur. The sword in the stone, you know, the kid sees a sword in the stone, pulls it out, and he's the only one who's able to pull it out, and he now has to go like battle some demons, I guess. I don't know if they're really demons, but they're like from the underworld. And he has like his team of knights, and he's got like Merlin helping him out. Like, it was just such a fun time. And I definitely think this would be fun for all ages. Like, I don't think it's just for kids. I think even adults will like this, because technically I am an adult, so I really loved it. But I think like if you're gonna take your kid to see this movie, I think you will also have a fun time watching it, not just your kids. There was like never a dull moment with this movie. There was so much going on, so much adventure. Even like the moments where it was just the characters and they were like going through emotions as the characters, like even that was fascinating to watch. And I also, I really liked the characters, and I liked their growth that they had from the beginning to the end. It did feel very long. Like, the ending did not have to drag out that long. I don't know, I felt like they definitely could have condensed that ending because it felt so long. The movie felt like forever. But I also didn't mind too much because I was having fun watching it. The other thing too, the magic. The way they showed the magic, it was very odd. Very odd. And it almost like came across as like stupid and cheesy. But it was just really interesting, the magic and how they like showed the magic. I don't know how else to explain it without like giving it away, but it's odd. Anyway, so I had such a blast watching this movie. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then the last movie I want to talk about is The Upside. I was like reading people's like reviews of this movie because I saw on Rotten Tomatoes that it had like a very low rating, and I was so confused because I was like, wait, I loved this movie. I still don't understand what those people were talking about in their reviews, to be honest, because I truly loved this movie. This is like a drama comedy. I categorize it as comedy in my statistics because that's what IMDb puts it first, is comedy and then drama. But it's a mixture of both. And this stars Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart, and I cannot remember the characters' names, so I'm just going to call them by Bryan and Kevin. So Bryan is a quadriplegic, and he's trying to hire a caretaker, like someone to help take care of him and do things for him, and he ends up hiring Kevin Hart, who is just out of prison and was just at that interview to just get a signature so that way he can tell his parole officer that he is looking for a job. But he really doesn't care about getting a job. He's like super lazy. But Brian ends up hiring Kevin. They start forming this bond and they start learning things about themselves and about each other and growing as people and trying to become better people. It's a very interesting movie and I thought it was very well done. I don't know what those people were thinking. It was also a lot funnier than I thought it'd be. Because usually, I've watched a few of Kevin Hart's movies, not a lot, and usually the comedy in those movies was, I don't want to say stupid, but it was more on, like, the stupid side. Like, I would laugh at it and stuff, but, like, whatever. But this one felt like very clever humor and I was laughing so much with this movie that I was not expecting to laugh that much. I also thought Bryan Cranston and Kevin Hart had such amazing chemistry and worked really well. Like, it's one of those things where you don't think it's gonna work well, but then it ends up working out really well and you're like, huh, this is good. Yeah, this works. And they both did amazing jobs with their acting and I enjoyed the story. I thought it was very heartfelt and touching, but also very hilarious. I really liked this movie a lot. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. And that is it for the movies. If you want, you can subscribe. You don't have to, but I would appreciate it if you did. I also do have my book wrap up for the month of January and my just like all general life wrap up. So go check those out too. I will see you guys again with more videos. Bye.